Hi, welcome to Tunescape. This video is going to be about how to get started animating. I may move a little quickly through some of the motions here, so if you're unfamiliar with how to get around in Tunescape, you may want to check out the earlier videos in this series. Okay, so I have this fish here that I want to animate some bubbles coming out of its mouth. First thing I'm going to do is get myself a sphere. Scale it down a little bit, and we'll start it inside the fish's mouth here. So now, if I come over to the timeline, let's clear this out. Okay, so I have an empty timeline. In order to add time to the timeline and be able to animate, I can either load up audio and then use the down arrow over here to set the time of the audio to also be the time of the timeline. In this case, it's just going to be a short animation, so my other option is using these arrows down here next to the timeline length, and I can add time to the timeline in half-second increments here. We'll just go up to, say, 6 seconds. I'm at 0 on the timeline. All I have to do is move to a point on the timeline, grab my sphere, and we'll move it out here a little bit. And now if I go back to 0, and then I'm going to hit X for play here. Simple as that. Now I can go to another point on the timeline, grab my sphere again, and we'll move it up. Now that I have the second keyframe set, if I hit play, there you go. If I wanted to watch that over in a loop, I can set my flags here. The red one is the out flag, green one is the in flag. We'll set that one at 0, and let's set the out one somewhere over here. This button down here in the center is to turn on section play. Now when I play, it will only play between the in flag and the out flag. I can also turn on loop, and it will continue to loop just within the section so long as the section play button is toggled. You'll also notice that the times that now show up on this timeline up here match up with the in and out flags. If I adjust these, then those numbers will be adjusted accordingly. That way you can try to line up your animation exactly along the lines of your audio. So what I'm going to do is go to its properties, and these are my keyframes. Every object starts off with a keyframe at 0, and then these are the 2 that I've added. I can go to any of these times by clicking on the time itself. If I want to adjust the time of the keyframe, I can use these arrows to adjust it by 1/100th of a second. Next to that, you have the animation curves. This is for object position, object rotation, scale, and color. There are also icons for light, range, and intensity, and the glow intensity on glowing objects. In this case, I don't really need the rotation or scale, so I'm going to go ahead and remove those keys just for the sake of simplicity. And now you can see that the keyframe only lists a key for movement and color. And it's as simple as that to get started animating. Just make sure you have time on your timeline, move to a point on the timeline with the slider or these arrows, which move in 5/100th of a second increments, and then move or edit your object, and it will create a keyframe for that particular object property, whether it be position, rotation, scale, color, any of the object properties that can be animated. Thanks for joining me. For more advanced animation techniques, check out the video at the end of this series. The next video is going to be about tips and tricks. We'll see you there.